The Shinola on that one. All right. Now, I would like to address this arts funding issue. Now, this all reminds me of a humorous story of the traveling salesman. Let's say that the taxpayer is a farmer and the government is a salesman. Well, the farmer says you can spend the night in my barn, but do me a favor, don't stick your willy into any of the 3 holes in the wall. Well, in this case, the salesman's willy represents the taxpayer's money, you understand. Well, the government, like the salesman, can't help himself. Sticks his willy in the first hole, it feels good. Sticks his willy in the second hole, it feels even better. Sticks his willy in the third hole, and it hurts like hell, and it won't let go. Well, in the morning, the farmer comes out and he explains. Behind the first hole was my wife. Behind the second hole was my daughter. And behind the third hole was a milking machine that don't let go till it gets 50 gallons. Gentlemen, I propose that this arts funding is like a milking machine, and unless we shut it down, it's going to rip our dicks right off.
Tonight's show is brought to you by the new U.S. government, improving the arts by severely limiting them.
Tell me, Senator, did you nurse Catherine yourself?
What?
Did you breastfeed her?
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Amputate a man's leg and he can still feel it tickling. Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back to Baltimore.
Let's get back to
right. So these punks.
Yes.
I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual.
Wow.
But it's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces.
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back. But I don't run so good either. Anyway, you guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility.
I'm married to
I'll eat my neighbors. See, my superpower is being honest. I'll eat your ass.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and then it's full of pep. We're gonna start with high chucks. Just watch this chorus steps.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. This is our 101th episode. Happy New Year, everyone. We all knew it was going to happen, so we might as well celebrate it as many times as we can before we get too sick of it. Are we sick of it yet? Some people are. Yeah, I think those are mostly like sporting fans, you know. I like this team, and my team isn't very good, and I'm upset. This year already is starting off bad. That's why I like baseball. It starts off, first quarter of the year, and ends before the year is up. So, you have a couple months of crummy stuff, maybe presents or bad weather or, cold. And, you don't start off hope springs eternal. It's all about spring. And we're on our way. We're trudging onto it. And at least that's what I'm doing. But, we have heat in the house. So that's better than most. And, yeah, there you go. For those of you that are new here, this is Fantastic Comics Presents. We are a YouTube show that talks about comic books that are coming out tomorrow. My thoughts on the comic books. Hi, I'm Yule, and I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. Come visit us. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. We have had an influx of new returning customers since we've been open, and that's exciting. Recently, we sent out a mass email to people that used to buy Saga so many years ago, and we wanted to let them know that it was coming back out, and we wanted to see if they were excited or not to want to come into our store to make that happen. And a lot of people responded. And we have a Substack account, which is free. And we hope to, every once in a while put something out there in the guise of a piece of information, maybe like a little story. Maybe we'll do like a little cartoon or draw a picture and put it up there. That doesn't usually happen. I don't want to get a copyright claim because my phone rang. Anyhow, let me just mute that. All right, sound off. Wow, I haven't had to worry about that in a long, long time. And definitely not for this show. It's late at night for a lot of people, and I realize you're out there, and there's a lot of different comic book shows that you can want to watch out there on YouTube, whether you're doing it live or if you're doing it after the fact. But I really appreciate it, and I try and give you a spin from a comic book store owner's point of view. And I'm going to tell you about some of the stuff that happened this week, and it's just going to be a fun little show to get us rolling, to get us moving. And as we do that, why don't I introduce my guest this week? Oh, let me take that banner down. Comics cleanup, keep or gleep. Okay, so we're going to be asking you whether or not you think we should keep it or if we should gleep it. Is that when you do that spitting on people, but it's very hard to distinguish what's going on at first? I hate that. Really. That I would do that by accident, but I can never purposely do it. So I wasn't really in on it. I guess that's the reason why I hated it so much. Keep or gleep. Well, right off the top, we have a Mark Miller. I like to pronounce Millar, since there's a few Mark Millers out there. Just so you know, it's that Scottish dude. And Tommy Lee Edwards, wow, really good art. And 1985 is, I can't remember what the premise was. It's a what if for sure. And I don't remember reading it. I remember people liking it, but I did not read it. So keep or gleep. Well, before we do that, obviously our guest is silent. Not going to ever say a word. just gonna write on a piece of paper or something else. But when that happens, it's great. Can't wait. But before that, why don't we say hello to the people that are out there right now? Say hello to the people that are going to be here after the fact, and just let you know that we really, really appreciate you coming back. I know that Steve Harvey is on right now, and he's Judge Steve Harvey right now. And that's really exciting. So you had appointment television you missed to come on over here. So I don't want to discount that effort that you made, and we want to say hi to everybody. Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? First up was Fantinuum early. There had been people in the past that have gotten. But, the holidays are over. Fantinuum's up to snuff. He's not going to sleep on the job like he used to. That was end of the year stuff. And wow, even earlier than normal, Moby, at least saying hi. What's up? That's right. Let's go. Dash cherries. Underscore cherries. Jilby Pill, yo. Oh, wow. Look at Courtney Holland. Happy New Year. How you doing, Courtney? I hope everything is going well for you. I saw some of your posts, and I'm there with you. Cool. Corey's here. Excellent. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Eric D's here. Yo, Happy New Year. Fizchozo. I'm currently looking for communities who like comedy comics. It's honestly hard to find ones hot now. Well, comedy comics and communities on top of that. Whew. Good luck. Find people that like Chew, the Image comic book. And if you can find people that like Mark Russell, he usually has a pretty funny outlook on a lot of things, but it can get a little satirical. And if you can't handle that, then maybe Mark Russell ain't the way for you. But he is doing some of the funnier stuff. I'll be talking about it in the NCBD portion of the show, but his one-star Squadron's pretty cool. All right, so we're going to make a keep pile and a gleep pile. All right. Oh, gleeking is the spitting thing. I'm sorry. See, I always expect Rick Worley as the guest. How's your father? I don't want to. I mean, I do. I've thought about it. Rick Worley is an awesome guest / co-host, but I want to try and keep his involvement on the show a little bit more special. And he is doing his own thing, and I don't want to bug him too much, but he's definitely one of those wells I'd like to go to more often. So maybe I'll ask him about what's up, because he's available often. But again, I mean, he does such wonderful work, and if having to worry about being on the show with any frequency, I don't want that to slow him down. Oh, fell. All right. Here. Oh wait, what's up next? What are we doing? Your camera sucks. What, are you using your phone? This can't be your phone. Laptop. All right, let's start with Fell. Fell is by Warren Ellis. It's drawn by Ben Templesmith. And the cool thing about this comic book was when comics were like $2.99, this was $1.99. And it was like a mystery / horror. We're following this detective that's going to this town that's very vampire-like. And it's, atmospheric. It looks really cool. The only other person doing the Ben Templesmith was like the Ashley Wood for the most part. And they pretty much had the corner that covered, draped with that style. I guess maybe like Alex Maleev a little bit also. But the thing about Fell is that they were going to come back and finish the story that has been, long overdue. And Image was pretty much told that they didn't want Warren Ellis to be putting, and who's telling them this? And, let's get into this for a second. All right, let me put my face on also. Let's own up to what I'm saying. Okay. Warren Ellis played a lot of ladies, a lot of adult ladies. And he's persona non grata in comics by the waves of social media people that don't like that type of stuff. Some people call it cancel culture. Some people say consequences and all this other stuff, and that's fine. Some people say if this was a business, you can't be doing that with people, but a lot of people say private life and all this other stuff. Nonetheless, nobody wants Warren Ellis around right now. But Ben Templesmith, the artist, is a guy that needs to make some money too, and this is a thing he's been working on. And Image is like, no. Which kind of leads into the whole unionizing thing that Image employees are doing. And I'm so excited because today is when the counting of the ballots begins for the workers of Image to unionize. I don't know how long it takes to count 12 votes. Maybe, I guess, Eric Larson needed a vote or something like that. So maybe some of the people in office that aren't necessarily, I don't even know how it's going to work out. It's so small and it's crazy. And some of the things that these people wanted were, obvious. A lot of people talked about crunch in video games, the crunch time when you got to get the stuff done because it's got to go to market yesterday, that type of thing. And it, it's a hassle, but in a lot of jobs, you have to work hard, extra hard at certain times. And, people that aren't there know their experiences and they don't feel too sympathetic for people that are just working in comic books. Having said that, I think that kind of stuff is very important because, artists get delayed and writers get delayed because of printing and dealing with people overseas and all this other stuff. When it comes down to crunch time, you should be taken care of. But some of the other things, the demands that people within this union are trying, they're trying to organize is whether or not these people that work in the office have a say in whether or not something gets put out. And case in point, Fell. Again, Warren Ellis ain't cool right now. He's got a lot of heat on him, and it's worse than X-Pac heat. And, well, I mean, it probably isn't worse than X-Pac heat because, I don't know, sometimes he's not as mainstream as a lot of people think he is. And he's done some really great things. But I think he's like a sacrificial lamb most people can be okay with. But nonetheless, I don't know if it's so awesome when, people that aren't making Spawn can say, I don't know if this should be out on the shelf, Todd McFarlane. I mean, I think he'd go crazy. All right. Well, you're just flipping through books. I thought we were going to really do that. You're just choosing. World's Finest. Yeah, I can't understand. Keep or Gleep? Yeah, let's see. I'm going to look at comments. What does Gleep mean? Oh, yeah. So Gleep is going in the trash pile, I'm assuming? There's no such thing as a trash pile. That's a giveaway pile. Maybe to a library or a school. Make sure it's not adult if that's the case. Although, They'll sell it. Girls, I don't know. I'm not a Luna Brother fan. Yeah, there you go. All right. I want to talk about the store for a second also. This tomorrow, Wednesday, I will not have Diamond comic books. I've been waiting for them. It's like going to be like 2 days late. No, that book sucks, but the Superman, All-Star Superman's good. Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer right off the bat. Just keep. What's the 50-50? What is that one? Who does that? Frank Cho. That's what's important. Oh, 50 Girls. That's what it was. Of course, Monsters and Girls. That's what Frank Cho does. Fight Girls just ended not too long ago. That was pretty cool. Gleep them on eBay. That's right. We're going to get our eBay store up. But you know what we really have rolling right now is our dollar bins outside. I put some really, really good stuff that was moving. I even priced some stuff at $3 if you can imagine it. These are books that probably in the bin would have been like $6, but they're kind of ratty, even though they're $6. And I knew I could probably put them out a little cheaper and then not have to take care of them as much also. And they'll be seen by anybody, even people that don't really want to come inside the store. Oh, Peanut Butter and Jeremy. I'm not the biggest Kochalka fan, but that's a keep for sure. Yeah. Umbrella Academy. I don't know. I mean, keep. Maybe somebody will be like, they need it. But that's, again, I still think that's like an online thing more than anything. Blue Estate, you can trash that. I don't want to see that. If you want to see it, though, come into the store and it can be yours for free. You just got to come in and ask for it. But it might not be tomorrow. Maybe the day after. Oh, Incorruptible. Same thing. Not a fan. But does Frank Cho do Monster Girls? Well, that's a personal question. You're going to have to ask Frank Cho. Guaranteed they're going to have some big gams, though. Swamp Thing, Scott Snyder, Yannick Paquette. That's an okay book. I thought it was pretty good. A good start to the New 52. He was doing Batman and Swamp Thing. Jeff Lemire was doing Animal Man, which was kind of crossing over with that quite a bit. And yeah, there was some good. Speaking of Jeff Lemire, Sweet Tooth. I don't know. Maybe like the last few issues are important. Definitely the first few issues, but that TV show didn't do very well. And I think people don't care like you'd hope, but you can't, all comic books can't be, let's get into it. Not all comic books should be movies. Not all comic books should be adapted. Same thing with books. How about some originality? Or at least a perception that you're not doing something that's already existed, or you're at least doing a spin on something that's already existed. And that's why you're so bedazzled with the Donny Cates comic books out there, because you feel like, wow, he's really adding to the mythos of these characters and the story and everything. But a lot of it is really just him just kind of throwing the, like, I'll add all these things to this one thing, which is this one thing that we all know. Oh, that Death issue is definitely a keeper. Yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man 111? That's a great number. We'll look at the condition of that, see if it's a keeper. I can't tell with the camera, really. It doesn't look that beautiful. Keep it anyway, vaguely. I'm packing up a lot of V comics tonight. 80s DC. Yeah, those comics. I don't think I ever bought one of those, and I was definitely the target audience for the V comic book. I love that miniseries, though. I thought, when they like eat the rats or whatever, that was just the greatest part. we went back to school the next day, and we're like, "Oh, did you see V?" Oh man, that was something else. That was like water cooler talk. Loved it. I loved television like that. Television's not like that. Comic books aren't like that anymore, which is why it's important to have. I don't know what it's important to have. Pokemon cards. And I can't even get those. Jeez Louise. It's the supply chain, let me tell you, it's killing me here. Comics are gonna so Diamond is late this week. DC is small this week, and Marvel is not very hefty either. So a guy like Fantinium doesn't have to worry about his pocketbook coming out at Christmas holidays. It's not that much. Although, if I did have Diamond tomorrow, like normal, there would be Noctera, and we'll get into it. Since I'm talking about comics that are coming out tomorrow, let me just turn my face off for a second, and I'll just show you some comics that are coming out tomorrow. While I do that, do me a favor if you're enjoying this at all. If you're at Facebook, what are you doing? Get over to the Fantastic Comics YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And if you're watching this on the Yule Carter channel, what are you doing? I hardly do anything over here, and anything I do, you probably don't want to be associated with. So come on over to the Fantastic Comics channel and hit the bell for notifications. And if you like what you're seeing right now, or you just want to humor me, hit the thumbs up. We've got like 10 people in the room, and later on there will be like a few others that will join or listen after the fact. Hit the bell or hit the thumbs up, or you can hit the thumbs down, but no one's going to see it. So really, if you're not a fan, it's not going to be, I'll see it, and I'll be like, looking at I look at it once every month, maybe. I'll look at my my studio, the YouTube studio, and I will see the thumbs downs. And I might cry a little bit, but it's not with anybody else. All right, sometimes the guy to the right of me is there, but it's he says nice things to get me over the hump. But if you could hit the bell or the thumbs up, whew, that'd be awesome. And follow us on any of these crazy things that people get upset about all the time. We're on Patreon. You can give like $1, like a tip type thing, or you can like put an amount monthly just because you want to support a comic store that's struggling. Well, we'll get into that. Maybe today. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Instagram, probably the one I like the most because I put a lot of the comic book stuff that I'm putting out there. Oh yeah. Do I have them here? Yeah, I do. I've been doing some pressing of comic books lately, and I'm going to show you a few that I did. It's not to like brag about the condition, but they look a lot nicer for sure. They're still like fine, very fine type comics, but look at this Spider-Man right here, where he's kicking ass in his black costume. Here's 268 right there. I think Kyle Baker is the inker on this one, and he's definitely the inker on this one, 272. And I think this might be the first issue of Slide, but I don't know. I can't. It's hard to remember. Anyway, those are some books that I pressed recently, and we're going to be putting them out. So, like, I take pictures of them, put them out on Instagram, let you guys see it. Red Wing was very good. A nice little 4-issue miniseries by Hickman and Pitara. I would put it in the Gleep pile, though. Because, oh, man, save those Cerebus for me. Any Cerebus. I've got a big stack right here. And, oh, you know, I have it to 44. I don't need 42, actually. So keep anyway, though. Yeah, we're going to get people excited about Cerebus. You know, Ferryman, I'm not down with that at all. I think that was like Wannabe Bisley or something like that. Yeah, I didn't like it. New Warriors, a keep, probably for the dollar bin. Yeah. I'll keep it. Gil Kane, Adam, right? Sergio Aragones is Blair Witch. Yeah, I got to keep it. I just, you know, Indiana Jones. That's great. That's a John Byrne issue. Well, whose tag is that on there? I always feel like I have to sell it for 50 cents. Put it in the Gleep pile. I already said action keep. All right. Turning this off. We're going to talk about comics that are coming out tomorrow, everybody. First up, I want to let you know a comic that came out last week that I didn't sell a ton of. Still have a bunch of them, and it was very good. It's called Apache Delivery Service. Matt Kent writes, Tyler Jenkins draws, and I think it's Hillary Jenkins on coloring. And this tells a story about a First Nations American who all the guys in the Vietnam troop that they're in call him Apache. And he goes out and does these like missions and comes back with the knowledge that they need to go blow people up. He doesn't like being in his unit, and he seeks to leave as soon as he gets back, even though he needs the rest. He's actually a Navajo, not Apache. And one of the times he goes out, he meets this dude who's like, hey, you want to steal some gold? And there's all sorts of like crazy stuff going on out there in the jungle, including, I'm sure, the Viet Cong, or yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I've seen Platoon. But that was a really good first issue, and I like it. And Matt Kent's cool, and I recommend you pick it up. All right, starting off with some books that I've read already. Amazing Spider-Man number 84 continues this whole Beyond story, but it's actually a story about Peter Parker. All the other ones have mostly been about Ben Reilly, who is the now Spider-Man. Peter Parker is sick in bed and almost dying, and this is a whole issue of him, we'll say, getting better. It's pretty wild. Next up, we have Inferno number 4. This is the last issue of the Jonathan Hickman miniseries. This is also pretty much goodbye to Jonathan Hickman on the X-Men books. They are continuing on. Meanwhile, his story is over. And if you want to know what happens to Moira and Destiny and Mystique, Charles, Magneto, all the people on the Quiet Council, this is definitely the issue to get. This was the storyline to get, and it's been selling pretty well. I have sold out of the second issue, but I still have more of 3, which is the real pivotal issue. And this is, of course, ends everything. And there's some stuff in there that's like, well, this finishes it. For sure, this finishes it. And you're not going to be upset about how you feel about X-Men going forward. And I think for the people that took the journey, especially for like the Hickman stuff, it does a good job. All right, next up, another book I read, Batman number 119. When we were open on Tuesdays, you could have bought that today, but we're not. It's Wednesday. And this is the second issue of the Joshua Williamson story. James Tynion IV was the long-running Batman writer after Tom King. I'm going to cough. There you go. This was a good second issue. The art's excellent. There is, let me see. It's Jorge Molina. But Michael Janin needed to do some pictures. They're okay. I'm not a big Janin fan, or Janin, but it goes okay with the book. Overall, it's Molina, and it really is amazing. There's a backup story by Carl Kerschel. It's a Gotham Academy. It's kind of Gotham Academy was for younger readers, so it's a little strange that they would put that in the Batman book. Although there's nothing in here that a kid can't read. There has been in the past, and it is pretty violent. There you go. Next up, we have One Star Squadron, number 2. This is that Mark Russell comic where the C and D list superheroes do gig work. Whether it be like attending bar mitzvahs and giving someone a lift across the street. They're there to help you out. And Red Tornado is kind of running the thing, although Power Girl's involved. And it was a good first issue. I liked it. It's sad watching these people be this way, but hopefully they'll have something that something more than this birthday party to have to run from. All right, next up we have Thor, number 20. This is the second part of the God of Hammers storyline. Thor lost his hammer. He's looking for it. He asks Sif in the last issue if she could find out where it is. And she can't see it. And Thor is like, damn, maybe he asks Odin's help. Odin sends him over to like the dwarves that made the hammer in the first place. And there's quite the discovery at the end of that issue. I do have issue 19 available for anybody that wants to get in on this series. You can start right now. It's a really good. I have the trade that precedes it. That was a good story also. But Donny Cates is writing this. He's a pretty hot writer. And why not pick up Hulk 1 and 2 while you're at it also? Marvel is beating this dead horse, but the black, white, and blood motif is being thrust upon Elektra. There was a Carnage one and a Wolverine one, and I forget, maybe like a Venom one, a Deadpool one, and now it's Elektra's turn. And you can see the awesome talent, Sewell, Shalvey, Bagley. All right, Bagley, but it should be pretty cool. If you like short stories with the black, white, and red or blood motif, then you should dig this one. Marvel's also putting out Darkhold. This is the Omega issue. So it's the last part of this one-shot miniseries. What they do is they do an alpha and omega. And in between, they'll do one-shots. So they have like a Spider-Man one and a Wasp one and an Iron Man one. And yeah, there you go. Steve Orlando's writing this, it looks like. So that won't suck, right? Captain America, Iron Man number 2. Oh, I can't remember Landy's first name. It was like Ted. I forget what he's done, but it's probably like stuff from Disney Plus. It was an okay first issue. It read like I was reading the Winter Soldier and Falcon TV series, just with Iron Man and Cap. Cap doesn't have a title right now, and Iron Man's, some people like it. But this is more superheroing than some of the crappy stuff that's been out there in the past. All right. Wastelanders. Remember when I told you about how they do these alpha and omega issues? Well, they just skipped those and went straight to the Wastelanders : and they're going to feature a character from like the Old Man Logan days. They've already done Wolverine, they did Hawkeye, and now it's Doom's turn to. So in the future, when everything goes really bad, and there's the Maestro and all that other stuff going on, and things are all messed up in the far future, Doom's still around, and so that's great to know. You can listen to the Wastelanders storyline on Spotify and other podcast type places. Yeah, there you go on that one. All right, this one's gonna really thrill you, detective fans. I like this cover a lot. It all looks so very real. Mariko Tamaki is writing the detective series and has been for a while, and I think a lot of people have been enjoying it. But I don't read it because to read another Batman book is going to take an act of God. And this is going to be one of those weekly stories that's going to be like, really super fast. And I just can't do another one of those. And I'm sad for the people that, are not expecting this. But at the same time, I've warned you. And people that buy Batman books don't usually buy a whole lot of other things. So I think you'll be able to handle it. Justice League Incarnate is a 5-issue miniseries. This is the Hump Day issue. It's all these different characters from the different Earths, and they're fighting these big bad situations, and it's leading up to another one of these, and then eventually the rumor is that there's going to be another Crisis comic book coming out, and that's the one we're all waiting for. But until then, Joshua Williamson, who's writing Batman right now, is doing Justice League Incarnate. He also did the last one, some title I can't remember right now, something Infinite. And Infinite Frontier. And that was cool. I didn't finish it. I have one more issue, but I just couldn't do it because these are tedious to me right now. And I'm just not as invested as I was in the past. Last episode, the day after, one of the listeners came in and said, "Oh, you sounded so down." And I said, "Yeah, I know I did, but I really didn't mean it. What I meant was that I have," let me see if I can get it. I have comic books to read. I have comic books over here to file. I have comic books in boxes that I buy and, I'm eventually going to get to. And, these are things I'm excited to eventually read. But to run the store, it's nice to know about what's going on in these books. But after a while, you're reading so many that it's very difficult to eventually be able to invest some time in reading a book or maybe something a little different. People that read Crisis Zone by Simon Hanselman or other Megan Mogg style books aren't necessarily going to be reading Batman. I'm not saying I'm taking one for the team, but my goodness, it's hard. You know how long it took dude to do Monsters, Barry Windsor Smith here? Look at this book. It's beautiful. It's all in black and white. This is like some just amazing illustrations, and the story is long. This is a big ass book right here. There's a lot of time that you want to spend, and look at that. All that writing. Batman takes up a lot of time. I know that I have customers that tell me all the time that they are behind in their reading. I'm behind in my reading too. You crowdfund things. You get trades of something that's old, and then you get another book, and then crossed. I don't want to be responsible for that one anymore. Bleep it. Oh, Hero. Yeah, keep it. Sure, why not? Spawn, keep it. All right, a couple more books that are coming out tomorrow. I'll keep me on now. I read the first half of this. This one is a fun story. I'll give it to that. It's Tom Taylor. A lot of people really like Tom Taylor. A lot of people really hate Tom Taylor. He's doing Superman, Son of Kal-El. He's doing, oh, maybe he's not doing that. He's doing Nightwing, and right now he's doing Dark Knights of Steel. Also, he did Deceased for DC. He's doing Dark Ages for Marvel, but he's signed exclusive for DC now, so everything is going to be over here in the Batman universe. And his Dark Knights of Steel is an Elseworlds, like a what if you're a Marvel fan, type story where you're seeing these characters. So the premise is that Superman doesn't come to Earth, when he normally does. He comes in medieval times, and he's not alone. He has both Jor-El and Laura. Is that her name? And they're with him also. And there's these different kingdoms. Batman's with the Jor-Els, or the El family, and Wonder Woman's on her own. And then Constantine's hanging out with Green Arrow, and it looks like Black Lightning. And there's some pretty crazy stuff that goes on, and it starts with the kryptonite arrow. And I dug it. I dig it. I feel like the characters are true to who they are in the instance they're in. So Harley is a jester, but she's intelligent and is actually there to give advice. And she just does it with with jibes, and it's cool. I dig it. And I like the relationships with the characters. They're a little bit different, and it's not, it's Elseworlds, so nothing's necessarily shocking because it's all supposed to be shocking. So once you get past that, whatever little hang up you have of whatever you might have a hang up with, the story is the only thing that really matters, and you can invest your time in it, I think. And oh man, that's a Jeff Lemire. Keep that. Yeah. All right, next up we have X-Men number 6 by Jerry Duggan, and is that Pepe Larraz? Should look good. I just finished the 5th issue and I liked it. I've been enjoying this run. X-Men Adventures. Let's well, I don't know what you're really going to do with the Gleep pile, but put it in there. All right. Anyway, X-Men, pretty good series, and the 6 issues coming out. There's all sorts of X-Men news that came out this week. They're going to have a new vote on adding a character or replacing a character, and get ready to get on social media or whatever you have to do to make that happen, because it's important to get out there and vote, even if it's for an X-Men character. Maybe we can finally, I think you can't trust voting like this because there's always been like trolls out there. Who do you think voted for Chase and Todd to die? It wasn't great people that did that. I'm sorry I did it, but I'm just, I'm outing myself now. I'm just not a great person, and it's just something that had to happen. All right. What else is next? One Star Squadron. I just did that. Excellent. Okay, these are the Diamond books that didn't come out. The Fourth Man. This is it's one of those murder mystery type miniseries I'm so excited about. Magic Order. Mark Miller, Stuart Immonen, following the family that is in power for all the magicians and wizards and warlocks and all that stuff in the world. And they set the rules, and there's always someone trying to defeat them. And it's a great fun series. From Image, you have Monkey Meat by Junji Ba. The art's really cool, and if you are looking for something that's not normal, like me, then you're going to probably want to get Monkey Meat. Who doesn't want Monkey Meat? You know, I mean, it's there. What are you going to do? You know, not get it? And Noctera. Oh, waiting for this one. This is a one-shot special. It's got Dennis Cohen doing the artwork. And I love Dennis Cohen from back, for me personally, back when he was doing Question. Those were some really, really special issues and special comics. There is going to be an omnibus. If you want to take my word for it, you should start thinking of saving about $125, because I can't sit on those books, and you got to tell me that you want it really, really bad. Keep the X-Men Classic. I love that cover. Gears of War, trash it. Don't even gloop it. Oh, Dark Reign. Whatever. You can do whatever you want. All right. I want to ask you guys. This is very important stuff here. Let me just... I want to inform you about something, okay? That's what I want to do. I want to let you know about when you think that you're having fun, or maybe, you know, you're doing something and people are like, oh, it's really stupid that you're doing that. But you're getting very successful for doing that, right? I wanna warn you about doing stupid stuff, okay? So there was this like reality star, I guess. And you know, this is so stupid. She was in like one of those 90 days things, you know, this woman here. And she started making money by selling her farts in jars. Have you heard about this? It seems that she made like $200,000, but it's pounds. So it's, I don't know what, or it says on this clip here. She farted and made so much money and wouldn't stop. And she ultimately got hospitalized for farting too much. And she felt she was having a stroke, and she made 148,000 pounds. That's what it is. So I want to warn you about farting too much. You might think it's funny. You might just be like ripping them up all the time. And I mean, I understand if you're making money, you're probably trying to put this stuff out as often as possible. But you know, you got to slow it down just a little bit. Don't fart so much. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How's your father? And I'm sure that wasn't fake at all. It was totally true. Too much, Jill. I know this is like shocking. You think it's funny, but you know, you might actually be doing yourself some damage. Let me see. All right, I'm going to look at chat for a second. Oh, Jesus. Jill's my only real moderator. Any of that Russian stuff can go. Hero Fall says, I'm having the same issues. I know you're having the same issues. Having a long pile of comics you need to catch up on. 6 issues. You should not be behind on Spider-Man. These are really fun issues. There was a really good scene. So Patrick Gleason does the art on this issue. There's a really cool scene that kind of mirrors the whole spider web profile covers that he's doing. Hello, Joe. How's it going? Thanks for showing up. Let's see. Dark Knights of Steel looked fun. Trade waiting it though. Understood. What about DC versus Vampires? That's a pretty good one also. Well, the first issue was good. I just don't know if I really personally want to read another Elseworlds type story, and for some reason I'm just reading the Dark Knights of Steel now. Yeah, you'd think Super DJ that farting was healthy because of the Beans song. The moral of the story is just don't fart so much. Don't get greedy. You know, it's the goose that laid the golden fart. You don't want to cut that up. You know, you want to save it for rainy days. Yeah, you could sell empty jars. You could. There was let me see that picture. Let me get that picture. She in the jar, there's like something in there that sponges up the farts. So you know it's authentic. Here's another one. And yeah, it was like one of those reality shows where you get married off or something like that. Anyhow, I want to let's see. I want to show you guys about I showed you those comics that I'm going to be putting out. What's my number? I'm sure you're talking to somebody else. What's your number one Starbucks drink of choice? Oh, I don't know. Nothing like they do in the movies, that's for sure. Just a coffee or an iced mocha or a mocha if you're like, it's cold, or a hot chocolate. That's a pretty good one. I have been pressing for a couple of years now, and for those of you that don't know, pressing comic books is when you're taking the wrinkled ass comics that you have in your collection and you're flattening them out, trying to get some of the imperfections out. A lot of times it's used for grading. So, you send them off to CGC and you get it graded. And recently, a while ago, a customer of mine put me to a test, and I was down. It was cool to see what would happen. But we took comic books of his that were like, he had 2 Dazzler number 1s, and he had all these comic books, Star Wars and Dazzler and Battlestar Galactica and stuff like that. And I tried to take all the books that were similar and, in condition. And he was going to have me press one set of those books, and then he was going to send the other one out to CGC and have the company that works with them press the comic books. And then he would take my pressed comic books and send them out to CGC and see what they came back as. So as of right now, he got the books that I pressed back from CGC, but still has yet to get the books that he had CGC send out to press, graded, and come back to him. But we do have the, unfortunately, I don't have the original sheet that says what I thought the grades were initially. That was a mistake on my part. But I'm going to show you what the comics looked like beforehand. And I don't have the picture that would be, what it came back as. But I do have the grade. And I can tell you a little bit about it. So this is a little insight in Bloodstrike Brutalist. Keep it. Anything Michel Fiffe, of course. But especially if it's the first pouch issue. Oh, Murder Falcon, that's great. Keep that one. But do know, people, that I will be getting the hardcover edition of Murder Falcon. That's Daniel Warren Johnson's masterpiece. He only does masterpieces right now. He's the number one comic dude. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Fitzchozo. But he's a multi-talented threat, and you gotta beware, DWJ. Plus, his original art sells so well, and just stuff like that, Okay. So when I get a comic book, I'll take pictures of it often, but sometimes in an effort to get through the work, a lot of times I don't categorize, or I don't do a good job, telling you or showing it in picture what happened to the book. I just want to get it out there. But this I was doing obviously for a test. And so you can see that this comic here on the bottom left was definitely crunched. And over here you can see how the corners were a little rounded and everything. So this was not a perfect book. And I try and just highlight some of the things that are going on in the book. You can see these marks here on the spine. And I'm really surprised with the grade that came back, actually. Because this was pretty, this was a book that I gotta find this one. I gotta find the grade. I had it here and then I lost it. So sorry. This book is not perfect for sure. Oh, here it is. Okay, very good. All right, so this book, just to let you know, came out in 81. Here's the back. This is this can give me some pretty good PTSD when I'm thinking of my comic books from my youth, seeing this ad. And you can see the corner here is crunched, and it's kind of off-white. And so what I do is I take this scrubbing, like a magic it's the bleach things that you get from your detergent aisle at the grocery store, and it's the magic sponge, and just like you would in your bathtub, you scrub the shit out of this. I try not to scrub too hard because obviously you don't want to get sloppy. You don't want to tear up the book. You also don't want to leave some permanent residue also. And, there's this little ding here. So, just highlight what's going on. And then some of the things that I can actually think I might be able to do something about it. And yeah, there you go. That's that's the Dazzler. And that came back a 9.2 when I was done with it. So that was pretty impressive, I thought. Now we got the Star Wars one here, and there's nothing really special about this one. But you can see, again, there's the imperfection on the upper right. There's the left-hand side. There's a little ding right there, right by Luke's lightsaber hand. And right there in the yellow. Got a bigger close-up of that. And I don't know what I was really taking a picture. Oh, they're probably up by the paw in the wrist area of the purple hand coming towards Luke. And then here's the back. Again, an ad I've seen forever. Here you have stainage. I don't even know how much of that actually came off. I don't think there was anything too wrong about this back area, but these are just some of the things that you hope will fix up on the top, definitely there. And yeah, so that one came back a 9.6. This is out of 10, everybody. I'll have you know. So so far so good. And here you have Star Wars 52, and you can definitely see a ding right there. And then on the right-hand side also just a bit. And then here in the left, right above C-3PO's shoulder, you can see that that bevel. It was maybe there was a piece of a sand or some little rock or just a fuzzy thing that was in the bag and just pressed down on the other comics over time, and it just caused an indentation. And you hope to get that out. You hope to get these spine ticks out. If there's a color break, there's nothing you can do. But you're just hoping to get pop the cover out, make it look like it did on the first day, maybe even better than it was on the first day. And so then this one came back, and you can see again over here on the spine. That's what happens when you read a comic book. You're supposed to read your comic books, I personally don't think I really like a graded collection that's slabbed, because if I'm to marvel, this is how I feel about it. If I am to marvel at your comic books, the condition that they're in, then that means they have to have been able to be, ruined at one time. And you're keeping them not ruined. But, it's slabbed, it's behind a door, it's hard to get to. I have to use tools in order to break it open. That's preserving it for sure, but that's not maintaining its health. Anyway, that one was a 9.2. And then last but not least, we have this issue 63. Let me just get to that. So these are the ones that I did, and then my customer also sent ones over that were of equal grade, before they got pressed. And we're going to see if the company that presses the comic books for CGC, if when they come back to CGC, they grade them just a little bit better. So there will be another Star Wars 63 coming in. And if that last one, whatever that issue was, 36, if that came back in 9.6, could potentially the 36 come back from another company related to CGC? Would that come back in 9.8? Or, this is a lot of guesswork. We're just trying to figure out what's going on and seeing if, there's a lot of people will take a comic book out of the grade of the case. And I'll show you this later. And they'll send it in for another grade, and they don't do anything to it, and it'll come back better, or sometimes worse. There's human error when this is involved, I'm sure. Anyway, up on the upper right corner, you can see how the comic book kind of bends over, and right here there's a little divot. Well, not a divot, but a bend on the spine, and over here in the corner, and then that's tear. Excuse me. Over here where Tom Palmer signs, you can see that divot on the spine. Oh my God, Megaforce. Is that a movie also? I never saw that. There's a corner bend. And, oh yeah, there it is again on the side. And I don't know why I didn't fix that, but you see the yellowing spots. Anyway, that one came back in 9.4. And I'm very proud of myself. Now, let me show you these CGC comics I have. Very, Kinetic was not very good, but some of the other books that came from that series, that imprint was pretty good. So if you remember Ultimate Comics, Spider-Man comics, something like that, when Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man, this was the first issue, and it came in this bag. And I never, ever opened that bag. And we sent these, I had two, and we sent both of them to CGC. And they finally came back. I have other books that are still out there. But I had no idea what these comics were going to look like, and they just graded them. So here's the first one. And I got this back, and I got a 9.0. See that? And where it really is bad is right there in the corner. I don't know if you can you see that little ding right there? And then if I turn it around, anyway, there's a little ding right there. And there's some stress fracture, stress points in the spine. So it's a 9.0. Now there's color breaks. And since it's all black, I'm thinking there's no reason to pop it out, because even if you can get that corner out, you're not going to get a 9.6 out of that, right? Now this one, if I remember, it was in the same spot, but it no color break. Anyway, this came back in 9.2. A little bit happier about that. They do this for an extra $5 or something like that. They'll put this cool, Miles Morales Spider-Man banner on the CGC. just kind of slick it up. It's nice for the wall. But if I remember correctly, it was somewhere down like right here. But I can't really see it. And, you know, you kind of have the, maybe just a bit. I mean, we saw a lot of defects in those Star Wars comics that I pressed. But I don't think I got all of those bumps out of them. What are you going to do? What Cerebus is that? I'm interested. Mm-hmm. Keep. I have like 22 to 44 right now. Oh, that's good. I need a 21. Yeah. All right. Are those the ones that I gave you? All right, excellent. We're going to have to get our collection together. We're going to be selling Cerebus soon. I'm really excited because you can't find a lot of Cerebus out there. And I've had a lot of people come in to the store to buy back issues. So you come in the comic store, there's not a whole lot to buy. You should look at the back issues. Back issues is where it's at. And, you know, George Perez isn't going to be around with us longer. And if you're interested at all, you should probably think about getting some of his work. And if you're the kind of person that likes to get it signed or get slabbed comic books like CGC, for $75 a book, you can get a George Perez signature on your comic book, and they're going to slab it and grade it and do all that stuff. And I think that's like a pretty awesome thing to be able to have. And, you know, there's plenty of comic stores that have back issues because he ain't doing anything new right now, ever. And the stuff that he did do was classic. He worked on the Avengers and Fantastic Four, Justice League, New Teen Titans, Crisis on Infinite Earths, all sorts of stuff. I mean, just amazing. Avengers again later on with the Kurt Busiek stuff, all fantastic work. And, you know, a lot of times these comics aren't even as expensive as the ones that are coming out monthly. Like, not as expensive as a Joker. Although the Titans are going up. They're more like a 75th issue from a Marvel or a 1050th issue by DC or something like that. Cerebus was canceled. Well, Cerebus ended. Dave Sim was canceled. But Dave Sim doesn't give an F. And he just keeps doing what he does. So, you know. The thing I like about his comic books is that his letters pages sometimes have things from famous creators. Sometimes it's like arguments between all these people. And a lot of times it's pictures, with fans and Dave Sim and pros at conventions and stuff like that. And it was wild times in the 70s and early 80s with all these people. And when they got to conventions, it would make the people of today probably blush. They was wild, you know. So I want to check those out. Supposedly there was an issue where Dave Sim wrote a letter, or not a letter, but like a little diatribe in the letters page. And it was all about Neil Gaiman basically cheating on his wife. And I don't know if he did it hidden or if it was just straight out talking smack, but I would love to read that. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. There's Flaming Carrot stories in Cerebus, and I didn't know that. And just getting some of those early issues would be pretty sweet, especially as you get to see his artwork get from like the very early issues to the later ones. And then when he has Gerhard helping out, it's just a real masterful looking book. But it's also so long and so Cerebus that I don't know. I'm more interested in the other stuff. All right, let's see here. We've got a lot of George. Our Hero Fall helps me out at the store on Wednesdays. You might see him if you're down below. We have had quite a few people coming in the store lately to shop our downstairs, and that's pretty exciting because anytime I'm selling back issues, it's usually from like a collection I've had for a long time, and it's just exciting when other people are excited to get cool books. And like I said, these books come in and there you go. These books, they're expensive, but they're as expensive as some of the ones that come out weekly these days. If you're hemming and hawing of buying a really classic I had this Flash issue, the Death of Iris West issue, and anybody that knows that book is like, oh, that's a classic issue. That's cover's awesome. I love Barry Allen back in these days, and it's like a $15 book. But if you bought, I understand that the trades are, you get more story and stuff like that. Or do you really get more story if you're buying, if it takes 6 issues to tell a story that could be told in 3, and these are like $5 books? It's pretty much, I just did a retrospective that I'm clipping, and I'm going to be putting pictures up so it looks all pretty, of Khazar the Savage, which was a comic book that came out in the 80s. Some people say Khazar. And we just had a big old long conversation of that. There was like a story arc within 5 issues, but each issue you felt like you could, it was meaty. It was a good soup, and you feel like you were full when you were done with it. And even though it was connecting, it didn't feel like you were wasting your time reading it. And I thought that was I thought reading it that way and seeing it that way really helped me appreciate it even more. Like, I always knew that I liked the comics that I read growing up more than I do, for the most part, the comic books now. But that's not always the case either. But there was a certain, and it's partially because of how old I was at the time, and I was learning this industry and reading the comics and not being fooled for, gimmicks and stuff like I was. Like, I hadn't gotten jaded yet. Every once in a while, there'll be a book, I'll just like really dig now. Like Beta Ray Bill last year was a fantastic book, and I can't stop talking about it. There was a few others like that, but man, everything I read back then was just super special and something I'm always going to remember. At least, there'll be nuggets of it in my memory, even though sometimes it is hard to remember everything. All right, let's see here. As the series went on, he was writing diatribes regularly. Totally worth reading them. Oh, shoot. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, you're the best, Hero Fall. Thank you so much. Well, one other thing. You read The Strange Death of Alex Raymond yet, Ewell? I'm about halfway through, and it's pretty damn interesting. No, I have not read that. I'll look into it. That's awesome. Yeah. I don't think I have. Have I read? No, I'm pretty sure I haven't. A Crisis Index. Excellent. That's great George Perez artwork. Indexes aren't that important. There's this thing called Wikipedia. God damn. All right. I keep getting these porn things. Don't click on them, people. Okay, do not click on that, whatever it is. And I'll make sure to read The Strange Death. I'm looking forward to reading something different now. And I'm going to get clips together, or I'm getting those reviews together, and just different videos. And I'm just going to try and love comic books this year and experience, so it's like, it's going to be NCBD to stuff. It's going to be paying attention to the vote for the unionization over at Image and what's going to be happening going forward with like the big series and the comics that I actually enjoy within the main companies. But it's not going to be so heavy. I mean, it's going to be, when we get to the NCBD part, I could talk for hours. But I just personally think I'd rather read an older book or something that I'm more looking forward to, and then we can talk about that, and we'll have guests on a lot more too. So that's the plan for this year. I don't know how long these episodes will be going forward unless I have guests, but I somehow was able to spit. Well, I mean, every once in a while I'm interrupting with whatever this guy's cleaning up. Let me do this video really quick so that it looks like I'm doing something. That's right. It is the almost the end of the show. This is the time where I like to thank our patrons for being patrons of ours. They give us as little as $1 and as much as however they feel. And you can slide it. Give more, give less, give more, give less. It makes us able to maintain our existence in a smaller place while we have fewer customers than we did before. We are utilizing every fund that we have to keep us going and spread our immense girth out there so that people know. It's like a really tiny candy with a really big blast of flavor, and that's what our store is, and we're working on it. We're getting our orders in. It's tough, and it's all me for the most part, and that guy over there with the night mask, and yeah, just a little bit. But come on in, say hi, buy a comic book. Tell me a comic you like, a comic that I should read, and do that definitely in the comments down below. And like I said, if you're interested at all, maybe give a thumbs up, because I hear it does something for us. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Buy comics, and we'll see you next week. Bye. I said bye.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their bluish food complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona were trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Trying to sunset sound. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous